Hey everybody, Crab and Cask. We got a lot to go through, so I'm going to get right to it. Number one, merch is up on the website. Check it out. Number two, we're on Twitter. Look us up, Twitter, Crime and Cask. Check us out. All right, hey, listen, we're going to go through the timeline. Alex Murdaugh, I have discovered some things watching this video again and again and again. We're going to go through Creighton Waters, what Creighton Waters asks him to understand and how he answers. I want you to listen carefully of how Alex answers that question. Then we're going to go through and show you by timeline and me using AI exactly to the minute and a second of what he said to 911, what he said to the first sheriff on the scene, and what he said to David Owen at 1:01 a.m. on June 8th. You ready? Here's Creighton Waters. I'll be right back.
Maybe the most important fact of all, that you were at the murder scene with the victims just minutes before they died. Right?
I did not tell them that I went to the kennel.
We'll take a break at this time for about 15 minutes, talking to the jury. Please go to...
How about that? Alec, I did not tell them that I went to the kennel. You're going to find that as a fact. But first, we're going to go through the timeline. 911. He calls 911 at 10:06:14. At the 4-minute mark, she asked them, "When's the last time you saw?" Listen to him.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. When's the last time you talked to Maggie?
Hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours ago.
What? Okay, you said about 2 hours ago you talked to them?
Approximately, yes, ma'am, approximately.
Okay, did she say what they were doing at all?
No, I talked to her in person.
You talked to her in person?
So there you go. He said anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. Hour and a half would have been 8:40. And where'd you see him? In person, he said. In person. He was off by 7 minutes if he used an hour and a half. His timeline was off by 7 minutes. He just saw his wife and his son brutally murdered. His timeline was off by 7 minutes. And he said he saw him in person. Okay, let's go to the first sheriff on the scene. First sheriff shows up on the scene, according to SLED, at 10:25 p.m. And 3 minutes and 47 seconds into that, he asked them, "When's the last time you saw him?" And here's what he said.
That's my brother.
Okay. When was the last time you were here with them? Or talked to them or anything like that?
It was earlier tonight. I don't know the exact time, but
Okay.
I left. I was probably gone an hour and a half from my mom's, and I saw them about 45 minutes before that.
Okay.
I rode around with Paul for 2 hours this afternoon in the pickup truck.
That's your son, Paul? Okay.
Okay, so now it's about, you saw the sheriff, and now it's about 10:20, it's about 10:30. And so it's about 20 minutes or so since he talked to 911. And he says, well, it's about an hour and a half, and I saw him about 45 minutes before that. Okay, so according to AI, take those numbers and add them in there. He is off by 26 minutes and 27 seconds. That puts the hour and a half at 45 minutes, which is 2 hours and 15 minutes at 8:13. He didn't see him at 8:13, but again, I am giving him a little bit of benefit of the doubt here. He just saw his wife and son laying on the ground and blood and brain all over the place. Now let's go to David Owen. Oh my, here's where it comes in. And remember what Alex said. I did not tell him I went down to the dog kennels. Here's what he said.
What made you come out here tonight?
I went to, my mom's a late stage Alzheimer's patient. My dad's in the hospital. My mom gets anxious when she does. I went to check on them and Maggie. Maggie's a dog lover, and she fools with the dogs. And I knew she'd gone to the kennel. I was at the house. I left the house and went to my mom's for just a little while. Tried to call her when I left. Texted her, no response.
So, I mean, let's conclude it. He talked to 911 and he was 7 minutes off, and he told he saw him in person. That's a fact. Number two, sheriff on the scene, body cam, you saw it. He was off by 26 minutes and 27 seconds. It's called 25 minutes. And said he saw him in person. David Owen from SLED at 1:01, 1:02 said, what did he say? That he left, and he knew that Maggie was down at the kennels. So he didn't tell David Owen, well, I was at the kennels and I saw him and then I left. But then that goes into, why didn't he tell him, everybody? Well, I think at this time it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Who knows how many times he said this story? But now I want to know why Alex Murdaugh has such a distrust for SLED. I would love to know that. But he didn't technically lie to him. He withheld information that would have been helpful to them. And I get that, and he should have done that. That was wrong. But SLED should have figured it out just from the other two people, and 911 and the sheriff. That wasn't true. Could have figured that out that night. And Alec knew it that night. Not to mention the fact that it was fairly dark out. There are some lights down there. But his son was talking to him about the chicken and Bubba and the tail and Cash. And his backlight was on. Alec was right there. He had to have known that Paul was taping the whole thing, that he was on tape. This I don't understand, but this really proves nothing. And honestly, the whole thing about the lie doesn't make any sense. But Alex said the truth. I didn't tell him that I went to the kennels. So check us out. May contain bourbon. I got some cool bourbon shirts up there. I've got the Murdaugh Mafia, the I Don't Remember. I got Bubba the Dog, champion chicken catcher. Got some cool stuff coming. I'll have some here. Sales are already going out the door. Appreciate all the help and the love on this. And we'll talk to y'all soon. All right. Crop cash cow. See you.